I recently was at a spa for my birthday. I got to experience what's called a foot refresher. And I checked in and they handed me that clipboardy thing with all the forms that you have to fill out telling them about all the bad rashes and pregnancies and surgeries you've ever had or not had in your life, because apparently spas collect more information than surgeons. So I hand the receptionist this, and she said I could up my service from a 50-minute massage to an 80-minute one. And I asked how much that would be in total, and she said it'd be $70. So I splurged with a gift card that someone had given me for my birthday. And then they walked me back to the relaxation room, and I sat down in my chair, and I was fidgeting to get cozy and wasn't getting cozy. And then I saw the tea bar, so I went and got some mint tea. They didn't have jasmine, which is my go-to. But then I had to go to the bathroom because I get pee anxiety if I think I'm not going to be able to go for like a whole hour. So I leave, I go to the bathroom, and when I come back, a pregnant lady walks in and sits directly across from me. Well, I didn't want to stare at her when she's trying to get all zen and stuff. And so I gaze my, stare to the left and look into the fireplace. Well, now I was feeling socially awkward, which I don't often feel. And I think she started to think I was socially awkward too, because she got up and went over to the tea bar. The second she gets up, I kid you not, the door opens and in walks a guy with an eye patch. And he was like 60-something, and he looked wasted, but I'll give it to him. He was probably just relaxed, okay? So he walks in, and he takes the first chair that he sees, which is the pregnant lady's chair, and he sits down, and now I'm starting to feel anxious. Should I say something so the woman can get her seat back? But I've reminded myself, she's a big girl. She can probably speak up for herself. But I look over to observe how this is going to go down, and you guys would not believe it. This guy's robe had popped open, and he was showing all his man parts. So much for relaxation. I was mortified, and over walks the pregnant lady back to her seat, and her hands are full. One hand has tea, and the other hand has those healthy trail mix snacks with the fruit that's been drying since like 1804, and you're wondering where the chocolate is. And she's moving clumsily back and forth, trying to figure out what she's going to do about this situation, because the man is sitting on her forms. And so she's like sweetly invites him to remain in his seat, but she points to the clipboard and says, Sir, my forms. And he offers to move, and she declines, and I left to pee again. The entire massage, my mind was like a tennis match on some kind of upper, and all the things I needed to do started making these giant lists in my head, and I started getting anxious because I didn't have a pen to write them all down, and I started becoming nervous about Collide and how we'd pull off feeding 1,000 women the next week, and how we'd love on them and mentor them and counsel them and inspire them. And then I began preaching sermons in my head that I had to write that I didn't have time to write, and then I started thinking about my teenagers and all that they face, mean girls and stinky tennis shoes. And then I started thinking about my frequent headaches and if they meant I had a tumor. And the next thing you know, I was down the road of saying goodbye to my kids forever because the hypothetical tumor killed me. The entire message, I didn't feel my feet, I felt my anxiety. I looked up mid-massage and apologized because I had to get off the table and go pee again. I returned back and the masseuse says, try to get back into your happy place. My happy place? I never got into a happy place. I walk out and pay the front desk lady, and she says, that'll be $189. Apparently the $70 she quoted me was for the additional few minutes, but not for the entire bill. So then I became frustrated trying to figure out if I was going to confront this woman on the poor communication, and also started thinking about my husband and how we were going to fight over the excessive $200 foot massage that I didn't even enjoy because I got massaged by worry and anxiety. Life is like a trip to the spa. It is where we seek to find that happy place, but even with the best of intentions, awkwardness, confrontation, small bladders, and big bills find us. And so do cancer and bankruptcy, betrayal and divorce, mental illness and learning disabilities, family dysfunction and being misunderstood. Worry is so sneaky and fierce that it finds us at work, in bed, on I-5, in waiting rooms, and even in spas.